Hey everyone, welcome back. Hamaji here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Cyberboard Christmas edition. Angry Meow has actually sent this for me to review, and I'm not gonna lie, I am really excited to talk about this keyboard. So let's get started. The Cyberboard case is probably the best packaging I've received with any keyboard. Nowadays, a lot of keyboards try to stand out of the crowd with some unique packaging, but Angry Meow definitely takes a spot for the most grand and premium unboxing experience I've ever had. Inside the case is of course the Cyberboard itself, which also comes with some accessories. The keyboard comes with 2 white gloves, an artisan keycap of a cat going down a chimney, which is kind of cute, and also some Allen wrenches with extra screws. It doesn't come with a USB-C cable, which honestly did surprise me, and I know to a lot of people that may be completely unacceptable, but honestly I'm just glad I won't have to add another cheap USB-C cable to my collection. So this is the Cyberboard Christmas edition. It's made of polycarbonate instead of aluminium, which the original Cyberboard was made of, and I wish I could compare the two, but I only have the Christmas edition, so this review will only focus on this version of the Cyberboard. So the first thing I noticed when holding the Cyberboard is that it's really heavy. It is easily one of the thickest and heaviest keyboards I've ever held in my hands. But because of that, it also feels extremely premium and well built. It does not feel like some kind of cheap plastic toy, which is something I'm always worried about with plastic keyboards. The two main factors that contribute to the weight is the overall size of the keyboard and the brass weight integrated inside of the chassis. Externally, there are no rough edges, imperfections, scratches, or cracks. The keyboard is machined really well and once again feels extremely premium when holding it. Design-wise, the Cyberboard is simply put, thick. It has thick bezels and takes up a huge amount of space on your desk, making it probably the least practical keyboard I've ever reviewed. But the overall style and design of the keyboard more than makes up for the amount of space that it occupies. Alright, so let's move on to the main feature of the keyboard, the custom LED panel. The LED panel on the top of the keyboard is what makes this keyboard truly unique. But it's not for everyone. It's bright, colorful, and to the people who like a more minimalistic approach to their boards, this will definitely take them out of their comfort zone. Personally, I really like it. I've always been and still am a huge fan of minimal designs, but the Cyberboard takes the idea of lighting in a keyboard and takes it to the next level. It is a really unique experience. It's fully capable of full RGB lighting, and it is pretty bright as well. The panel is also integrated into the board seamlessly and works really well. The Cyberboard does come with pre-installed lighting effects, but you can create your own effects and install them or just download effects made by others. This makes it very easy to customize, and I absolutely love this feature. For the people who love to spend their time customizing their keyboards, this is a huge win. I love that I can make my own effects so that I'm not stuck with some default animations, and the whole process is pretty straightforward too. All you have to do is follow the instructions on their website, download some applications, load the effect onto your Cyberboard, and there you go. The only problem I have with the LED panel is that you're only allowed one custom effect at a time. So when you try to install another custom lighting effect, it overwrites the previous custom design you installed. They're apparently still working on the ability to store multiple custom lighting effects, which is definitely a feature I'm looking forward to. So let's take a look at how the Cyberboard is assembled. The keyboard has a back panel that is attached via 8 screws on the bottom and is completely flush with the bottom of the chassis. Once that's removed, we then have the brass weight and battery module screwed onto the top housing with 4 screws and 3 cables connected to the daughter board. The main PCB is also connected to the daughter board with some ribbon cables. To disconnect these, you're going to have to flip the latch up and then take out the ribbon carefully. The PCB is secured to the top housing and plate with 8 screws, which are spread out to provide a more even typing experience. Once that's removed, we're left with the layer of silicone foam, the top housing, and the plate. The Cyberboard uses a top mount design where the plate is secured onto the top housing and the PCB secures onto the plate. This allows for an even typing experience and a consistent sound signature, which is a huge advantage that comes with the top mount design. It does allow for some flex, but overall the typing experience is fairly stiff. The Cyberboard comes with a hot swap PCB, which basically means that you won't have to solder in any switches. Personally, I always enjoy the convenience of being able to remove and add switches whenever I want. It's an incredibly useful feature and a huge time saver. It also has a south-facing switch configuration, which removes a lot of the problems that a PCB with a north-facing configuration would come with. It has a standard ANSI configuration, which for people like me is great, but I can also understand why this would be limiting to people who like using ISO or different layouts. It's also fully capable of RGB lighting, but does not come with any backlighting, which was honestly kind of surprising. I feel like it was kind of a missed opportunity, especially with the polycarbonate case and LED panel. It's a really small thing, and I never usually look for any lighting with my keyboards, but with the Cyberboard Christmas edition, backlighting would have been absolutely dope. The keyboard is also fully Bluetooth compatible and it's actually really easy to pair. All you need to do is hold FN and 1 for 5 seconds, an icon will pop up on the LED panel and you'll be able to connect it to your computer. To turn the Cyberboard on, all you have to do is flip the switch on the back and the keyboard should light up. And if you want to charge the Cyberboard, you can either plug it in via the USB-C cable in the back or charge it wirelessly via the wireless charging pad on the bottom. I'm not sure exactly how long the battery can last, but from my experience, it can last a whole day of casual use without running out of power. I don't use Bluetooth very often, but it works as you would expect, and the whole process is pretty smooth. The Cyberboard also comes with some really unique looking stabilizers. The stabilizer housings are translucent with a neon green tint, the stabilizer stems are a deep pink, and the wires are gold plated. The bottom of the stabilizer stems also come pre-clipped, so you don't have to make any modifications, which is a really nice touch. However, they are clip-in stabilizers, which don't make them ideal for a premium build in my opinion. These ones in particular aren't as bad as some other default clip-in stabs, but I still would never recommend using them over screw-in stabs. So for all of my stabilizers, I always start off by applying the Holy mod, which is basically adding a piece of band-aid into the stabilizer stem to reduce any rattle. It's not entirely necessary, but from my experience, it has been the most effective method to reduce any rattle. And for lubing, I of course always use Krytox 205G0. So the stabilizers sound okay. They were a lot better than I was honestly expecting, and if you don't mind clip-in stabilizers, these are honestly pretty decent. However, I've decided to swap to Zeal PC stabilizers because I wanted to hear how the board would sound with stabilizers I've used before. For the switches, I'm going to be using Gateron Black inks. These have been lubed with Krytox 205G0 and are filmed with Desk Keys switch films. They have a deep, rich sound profile and, in my opinion, are a nice match for the Cyberboard. As for the keycaps, I'm going to be using Escape Keyboard's Jelly Palm Rainbow keycap set. It has a gorgeous pastel color scheme, and for a keyboard as bright and expressive as the Cyberboard, I wanted to go all out for the colors and RGB. Especially considering the fact that it's fully polycarbonate, which will allow for way more RGB to shine through the sides of the keyboard. So I've been using this keyboard for around a week and the typing experience feels great. I do feel like the lip at the front is a little thick and it does make it just slightly uncomfortable to use without a wrist rest, but it isn't to the point where it's unusable. The sound that the keyboard produces with linears is a little unsatisfying in my opinion. It doesn't have that crisp, clear sound that an aluminum case usually has, so I swapped out the Gateron Black inks for Holy Pandas, and the end result was a much snappier and more satisfying sound signature. So overall, the build quality of the Cyberboard is extremely impressive. This has easily become one of my favorite boards that I own currently. Is it practical? I mean, kind of. You can use it if you have a large desk, but even then it will still take up quite a large amount of space. This is a keyboard that I would only recommend if you're an avid collector or if you don't mind its chunky form factor. It's definitely not something worth getting if you're looking for a daily driver or if you're just getting into the scene. Regardless, Angry Meow has done a great job with this board and I am thoroughly impressed. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do consider subscribing. You can also join my Discord server, discord.gg/Hamaji, and follow me on Twitter @Hamaji. Thank you for all of the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.